Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 31.
We're focusing on what happens right after the Battle of Guandu, looking at the very different paths taken by Yuan Shao and Cao Cao.
It's such a critical moment, isn't it? You see the psychology of defeat clashing right up against the strategic chances the victory brings. And it really reveals character under pressure. Immense pressure.
Okay, so let's start with Yuan Shao. He's not celebrating, he's in complete disarray. Paint the picture for us, his escape after Guandu.
It's stark. The text says he's down to just one scarf, plain clothes, fleeing with only about 800 riders. Imagine that drop. He finally meets General Jian Yiki at Liang North Shore, but, I mean, the image itself.
It just screams total defeat, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's more than just losing a battle. It's personal humiliation, political collapse, everything.
And then there's this detail, Yuan Shao overhearing his own soldiers weeping. They're mourning their losses, and, crucially, they're saying, if only we had listened to Tianfeng. What does that tell us about Yuan Shao right then?
Well, it's fascinating because it seems the collective voice of his defeated army forces him, maybe for a moment, to face his own error. He actually says it out loud. I didn't listen to Tianfeng. This defeat is on me. How can I possibly face him now?
So a flicker of self-awareness. Or maybe just shame.
I think it's both. There's definitely awareness, but it's deeply tangled up with this crushing shame.
But that feeling, that shame, it curdles pretty quickly, doesn't it? Tell us about Feng Ji.
Ah, yes. Feng Ji meets Yuan Shao in this vulnerable state, and what does he do? He twists the knife. He slanders Tianfeng, claiming Tianfeng actually celebrated the defeat back in prison. He says Tianfeng clapped his hands and laughed, saying, it truly is as I predicted.
Wow. So playing right into Yuan Shao's insecurity.
Exactly. It shows how easily a leader's shame, maybe their guilt, can be manipulated into anger, especially when you have someone like Feng Ji whispering poison.
And this leads us directly to Tianfeng in prison. The scene shifts, and a jailer actually congratulates him. Why?
The jailer assumes, quite logically you might think, that since Yuan Shao lost, Tianfeng, who advised against the campaign, would now be proven right and valued.
But Tianfeng knows better. His response is chilling. I will die now. How could he be so certain?
His insight into Yuan Shao is just profound. He lays it out. Yuan Shao is outwardly generous but inwardly jealous. He doesn't value real loyalty, not deep down. Tianfeng says, look, if Yuan Shao had won and been happy, maybe, just maybe, he'd have been pardoned. But now, having lost and feeling ashamed and angry, Tianfeng says, I do not expect to live. He knew his ruler's psychology inside out.
It's like a masterclass in understanding flawed leadership.
It really is.
And then the envoy arrives with the sword. Tianfeng's prediction comes true. His final words are just powerful.
Incredibly so. A great man born between heaven and earth. If he does not recognize his Lord and serves him, he is without wisdom. Today I accept death. What is there to regret? And then he takes his own life.
Such a tragic end for sound counsel.
And if you zoom out, Tianfeng's death, plus the earlier mention of Zhu Shou being lost, another advisor ignored it, really highlights how Yuan Shao's own flaws are destroying his power base. There's that poem in the text, right? Yesterday Zhu Shou was lost. Today Tianfeng died. The pillars of Hebe are all broken. It makes it clear. This kind of leadership leads to ruin. Ignoring good advice, mistrusting loyalty, it's fatal.
Okay, so while all this tragedy is unfolding, what's happening back in Yuan Shao's base in Juzhou?
Well, Yuan Shao is basically falling apart. The text says he's vexed and distraught, totally neglecting the actual business of governing.
And his wife, Lady Lu, sees this vacuum.
She does. She steps in and urges him to deal with the succession issue, name an heir. And this just throws fuel on the fire of internal divisions.
Remind us about the sons. There are 3, correct?
Yes. Yuntan, the eldest, he's governing Qingzhou. Yunjie, the middle son, is in Yuzhou. And then there's Yuan Shang, the youngest. He's Lady Lu's son, described as handsome, loved by Yuan Shao, and kept close by his side.
So the classic setup for a succession fight. Lady Lu is pushing for her son, the youngest.
She is. And Yuan Shao clearly favors Yuan Shan. The text mentions his looks, his heroic appearance. This personal preference really starts to clash with the tradition of primogeniture, the eldest son inheriting.
Especially in a crisis.
Exactly. While the enemy, Cao Cao, is basically consolidating his gains, Yuan Shao's camp is starting to fight internally over who should be next in line.
And his advisors are split down the middle.
Completely. You've got Shen Pei and, surprise, surprise, Feng Ji backing the youngest, Yuan Shang, but then Xin Ping and Guo Tu are supporting the eldest, Yuan Tan.
And Guotu gives a pretty blunt warning, doesn't he?
He does. He tells Yuan Shao straight up, if the master abolishes the elder and establishes the younger, this is the beginning of chaos. He basically asks, are we going to let the family tear itself apart now?
Which raises a huge question, right? For any leader, but especially then. How much should personal feelings for an heir matter compared to tradition, stability, especially when you're weak?
It's a critical question.
Mm.
And Yuan Shao's inability to decide here, his wavering, it's just another sign of his failing leadership, a massive red flag.
Okay, let's pivot. Because while Yuan Shao's camp is imploding, Cao Cao presents a totally different picture.
A stark contrast, yes.
His army is victorious, set up by the river. And what's happening?
The local people, the villagers, are actually coming out to greet him, bringing food, bringing drink. It's a remarkable scene.
And Cao Cao himself talks to them. He engages with the elders.
He does. There's this moment with an old man, apparently almost 100 years old. Cao Cao expresses regret, maybe strategically, maybe genuinely, for the disruption the war caused.
And the old man's reaction is quite something.
Oh, it's pure gold for Cao Cao. The old man talks about a prophecy from like 50 years ago from an astronomer named Yin Ku, but a true man rising from Lianpei Cao Cao's home region. And the old man declares, it's you. It's come true.
Wow. Talk about good PR.
Exactly. He praises Cao Cao for raising this army of benevolence and righteousness, for punishing injustice, for beating Yuan Shao. He basically hands Cao Cao legitimacy on a silver platter.
And how does Cao Cao handle this?
Very shrewdly. He accepts humbly, gives the old man gifts, wine, food, silk. But then, crucially, he turns to his army.
And issues an order.
A very strict one. Anyone who goes to the countryside and kills chickens or dogs will be punished as if they killed a person.
So discipline is key here, but it's more than that, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is Statecraft 101. He's showing the people, my rule means order, protection, fairness. It's a direct contrast to Yuan Shao, who the old man mentioned was known for heavy taxes. Cao Cao is winning hearts and minds. The text even mentions his secret pleasure at seeing the people respect him. He understands that public support is power, just as much as winning battles.
It's a calculated move to build long-term stability.
Precisely. Perception management alongside military might.
But even with all Yuan Shao's problems, the internal fighting, the low morale, he's not completely finished, is he?
No, not at all. Despite the chaos, he can still pull together significant forces.
His sons Yuan Shi and Yuan Tan arrive with reinforcements.
That's right. Yuan Shi brings about 60,000 from Yuzhou, Yuan Tan about 50,000 from Qingzhou,
Yeah.
plus his nephew, Gao Gan, brings another 50,000 from Bingzhou.
So Yuan Shao, he's got a massive army again at Kangting,
Yeah, the text estimates 200,000 to 300,000 troops. It's a huge number.
which just goes to show.
It shows that even a deeply flawed leader, even after a catastrophic defeat, can still command immense resources in this era. Guandu was decisive, but the war, far from over. The next big clash is already shaping up.
Cao Cao and Yuan Shao facing off. It's a grand formation, that classic pre-battle standoff moment. And Cao Cao, well, he's ever the provocateur, isn't he? He taunts Yuan Shao, basically telling him to just surrender. But in response, Yuan Shao's third son, Yuan Shang, steps forward. He's clearly eager to prove himself before his father. He's described as wielding twin blades, making quite a show of it all.
What's fascinating here isn't just the personal challenge itself, but how quickly Yuan Shang decides to engage. It's immediate, a high-stakes duel right at the start.
And what happens next is, well, genuinely unexpected. Yuan Shang is challenged by this guy Xi Huan, a subordinate of Xu Huang, after less than 3 bouts, and these are like quick exchanges in combat, right?
Very quick.
Yuan Shang suddenly pulls his horse aside and flees, just bolts. Now you think he's running for his life, yeah. But then, in this incredible move, he knocks an arrow, turns right around in his saddle, and shoots backwards. Hits Xi Huan directly in the left eye, kills him instantly.
Wow. Yeah, that's a key detail. It just perfectly shows Yuan Shang's cunning and, frankly, his exceptional archery skill. This isn't just a kill, it's a real statement. It delivers a quick, decisive blow that immediately energizes Yuan Shao's forces. It changes the morale completely and sets this dramatic, unpredictable tone for the rest of the battle. It's a great reminder that even within these grand strategies, individual brilliance can be a devastating wild card.
Right. So, with the shock of that opening skirmish still sort of hanging in the air, Cao Cao knew individual heroics weren't going to cut it, not for the decisive victory he wanted. So he gets his generals together to strategize how to deliver a crushing blow to Yuan Shao. And this is where Cheng Yu steps forward with this, well, truly ingenious plan. The 10-sided ambush. the Chengyu.
Ah, yes, the 10-sided ambush. It's a classic example of sophisticated deception, really. It's designed to lure an enemy into a trap by creating this false sense of advantage. The core idea is to draw Yuan Shao's entire army to a specific river, a point of no return. And crucially, Cao Cao's own forces would have their backs to the water there, making retreat impossible for them too. This forces them to literally fight to the death to remove any option but victory. It's like psychological warfare before the main clash even starts.
Okay, so a 10-sided ambush. How does that actually work on the ground, like with the troops?
Well, Cheng Yu's plan meticulously divides Cao Cao's army into 10 hidden teams. They're strategically positioned on both flanks, ready to spring.
Right. The text mentions 5 teams on the left and 5 on the right, led by his most trusted generals. You've got veterans like Xie Dun, Zhang Liao, Xu Huang.
Exactly, seasoned commanders.
And Zhu Chu is designated as the vanguard in the center. He leads the main force, the one that's meant to look like it's retreating.
Yes, the bait. It's an intricate dance, really. Every piece placed with a specific purpose.
So the plan kicks off at midnight. Cao Cao orders Xu Chu to lead this feigned raid on Yuan Shao's camp. Makes it look like a sudden, maybe desperate night attack.
And this feint is absolutely crucial. It works perfectly. It stirs Yuan Shao's entire 5-camp army into action. It convinces them they're chasing a fleeing, panicked enemy.
Right, instead of walking right into a trap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about controlling the enemy's perception of the situation.
So Zhu Chu's forces pull back, and they draw Yuan Shao's army in this noisy, relentless pursuit all through the night until dawn, and then they finally reach that critical point, the river.
The trap is set.
Imagine the scene. Backs to the river, nowhere to go. Cao Cao rallies his troops shouting, we have no way out, fight to the death.
Yeah.
And fight they do. Xu Chu himself is noted for forcefully cutting down more than 10 generals, just incredible ferocity.
Yeah.
Yuan Shao's army, who thought they were the hunters just moments before, are suddenly the hunted. It's utter chaos.
That moment is the pivot. That psychological shift from hunter to hunted, combined with the do-or-die mentality Cao Cao instilled in his own troops, it completely turns the tide. It's a brilliant execution of trapping not just the body, but the mind of the enemy.
So as Yuan Shao desperately tries to retreat, the ambush just unfolds in these relentless waves, exactly like Cheng Yu planned it, less than 10, what's that, roughly 3 miles or
It was
so.
about that, yeah. 5 kilometers maybe.
Right. Into their retreat, the first wave crashes in. Generals like Xia Huan from the left, Gao Lan from the right. Bam.
That's some hard.
Just a short distance later, boom. The second wave strikes, again from both flanks. The text describes it dramatically. Corpses strewn everywhere and blood flowing like rivers. The pressure must have been immense.
Unbelievable pressure, nonstop.
A few more miles, maybe trying to break through, and the third wave hits, cutting off their escape entirely. It's like the walls are closing in.
And each successive wave just compounds the damage and the panic. It prevents Yuan Shao from regrouping, from establishing any kind of defensive line. The descriptions, they really paint a picture of utter devastation. It's just an overwhelming force crushing them.
Yuan Shao and his sons are now described as terrified and losing heart. They barely make it back to their old camp, probably hoping for just a moment's rest. They try to get some food ready, but before they can even start eating, 2 more generals, Zhang Liao and Zhang, he charged directly into their camp, left and right again.
No respite at all, just relentless.
Yuan Shao panics again, jumps on his horse, flees towards a place called Kangqing. He's exhausted, desperate, tries to rest. But Cao Cao's main army is right behind him, relentlessly pursuing, giving him absolutely no quarter.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
And just as he thinks he might be getting away, the final ambushers appear. Both sides again, completely blocking his path. The net is finally closed.
Yeah, that final encirclement, that's the culmination of the whole 10-sided strategy. It ensures Yuan Shao, despite his desperate struggle, isn't just defeated, he's utterly broken.
Yeah.
Militarily, psychologically.
Yeah.
There's just no escaping the sheer scale of this defeat.
Yuan Shao lets out this desperate cry, fight to the death or be captured. And somehow, through sheer force, he manages to break free from the encirclement. But the cost is terrible. His sons, Yuan Shi and Gao Gan, are wounded by arrows, and nearly all his forces are just gone, annihilated.
A Pyrrhic escape, if you could even call it that. It's a crushing, definitive defeat.
So after this cataclysmic defeat, Yuan Shao is just utterly broken. He collapses, crying with his 3 sons, actually vomiting blood and lamenting, "Heaven is destroying me." I mean, it's a profound moment of despair.
It really is.
Yeah.
It lays bare the psychological impact of war. Yuan Shao, who was once this incredibly powerful warlord, is physically and emotionally shattered. And his next command, telling his sons and nephew Yuan Tan to King Zhu, Yuan Shi to Yuzu, Gao Gan to Bingzu, telling them to go back to their strongholds and gather forces. Well, it reflects a desperate attempt to somehow salvage his power, while he himself retreats to Jizhu to try and recover. He's not just beaten, he's on the verge of total collapse.
Meanwhile, Cao Cao is celebrating his great victory at Qingting. He's rewarding his army heavily, but he's already thinking ahead. He sends scouts to check out the situation in Jizhu.
Always the strategist, never rests on his laurels.
The reports come back. Yuanshao is indeed bedridden. Yuansheng and Shenpei are tightly guarding the city, and the other sons have scattered back to their states, trying to rally.
Right, so this raises a really important question for Cao Cao, doesn't it? Does he capitalize on this weakness now and attack Zhu? Or does he wait? What would you do in that spot?
Well, his generals are all for it. They urge immediate assault, press the advantage, finish him off. But Cao Cao, ever the strategist, makes this remarkably patient, calculated decision. He notes Jizhu has vast grain supplies. And he shrewdly remarks that Shenpei, the guy guarding it, also has great schemes. He sees the potential difficulty.
Respects his opponent.
So he decides against an immediate attack, and his reasoning, he fears it would harm the local populace's crops in the field. Instead, he states it would not be too late to take it after the autumn harvest. It's a strategic move considering resources, popular support, future stability.
That's a fascinating display of strategic patience, isn't it? He's not just thinking about winning the next battle. He's thinking about winning the war, consolidating his gains, securing the territory long term. He's willing to delay that immediate gratification for a more complete and probably less costly victory down the line.
Exactly. But just as Cao Cao is making this patient, far-sighted strategic decision, this urgent letter arrives from Xun Yu. Like, the ink is barely dry on his Jizhu plans, and then, boom, this lands on his desk.
And this is a perfect example of the dynamic, unpredictable nature of warfare, right?
Right.
Even after a massive, decisive victory in one area, new threats can just emerge instantly somewhere else, demanding immediate attention. Sometimes the very cost of winning one fight is opening yourself up to a new, unexpected vulnerability.
So the letter reveals that Liu Bei, remember him, he's gathered tens of thousands of troops down in Runan with Lu Pai and Gongdu. He's heard about Cao Cao's big campaign up in Himei. So Liu Bei has left Lu Pi to guard Runan and is personally leading an army to attack Xuchang.
Xuchang, Cao Cao's capital.
Right, his capital city. Cao Cao is described as greatly alarmed, and you can see why. Without hesitation, he immediately leaves Cao Hong to sort of station troops by the river, creating a false show of strength, a bit of a bluff to hold the northern line.
Buys him some time.
And personally leads his main army straight back towards Runan to confront Liu Bei. Talk about a sudden, drastic pivot.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it just hammers home how victory in one theater doesn't guarantee peace or stability at all. Strategic attention has to constantly shift. A leader's ability to adapt quickly, decisively. It's paramount. The battlefield is never, ever truly quiet.
Liu Bei leading Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and Zhao Yun, quite the team.
The A-team, really. And they're making this incredibly bold march towards Zhudu. That's Cao Cao's capital city.
Which sounds, frankly, a bit nuts. I mean, attacking Cao Cao's home base, was it calculated or just desperate?
It's definitely audacious, maybe hoping for surprise, or perhaps sensing a moment of weakness. Hard to say for sure, but bold. Anyway, they reach Rangshan, set up camp.
And bam, immediate confrontation. Cao Cao shows up.
He does. And there's this amazing verbal showdown. Cao Cao, points his whip, calls Liu Bei a betrayer. Standard stuff for him.
But Liu Bei gives as good as he gets, right?
Oh, yeah. He fires back, calls Cao Cao the real traitor, a traitor to the nation, Guzai. And then, the killer move.
The girdle decree.
Exactly. He recites it on horseback, basically saying, I have the emperor's secret order to take you down. A massive political statement.
Challenging his legitimacy right there in front of everyone.
Wow. Yeah, Cao Cao is furious, naturally. He sends Zhu Chu straight into battle.
And Zhao Yun meets him. That must have been quite a fight.
Epic. 30 rounds, apparently, neither gaining the upper hand. But that duel, it bought time.
Time for the flank attack.
Precisely. Guan Yu slams in from the southeast, Zhang Fei from the southwest. A classic pincer.
And Cao Cao's army, maybe caught off guard or just weary.
They just crumble. It's a rout. A really decisive first victory for Liu Bei.
It's a strong start, but maybe too strong. Like you said, early success doesn't mean it's over.
Definitely a takeaway there. And Liu Bei feels it too. He wins big, but then nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
Well, for days, Cao Cao's forces just don't engage. They stay put. Liu Bei tries to draw them out, sends his generals to challenge them. Silence.
Okay, that's unnerving. That feels like a trap brewing.
Exactly. Liu Bei gets suspicious. And he's right. Cao Cao isn't sulking. He's setting up a brilliant counter move.
The divide and conquer strategy.
Textbook. First, news arrives. Gongdu, Liu Bei's supply runner, is surrounded. Big problem.
Right, gotta have supplies. So Liu Bei sends someone.
He sends Zhang Fei, rushes him off to the rescue.
Okay, one piece off the board.
And immediately after Zhang Fei leaves, the second punch lands. Word comes. Xiahou Dun is attacking Ruanan from behind.
Ruan in his rear base. Oh, that's bad.
Very bad. Liu Bei sees it instantly. He says something like, if this is happening, I'm hit front and back, nowhere to go.
Panic must be setting in. What does he do?
He sends Guan Yu urgently to try and save Ruanan, trying to plug the holes.
But it's already spiraling, isn't it?
It is. The bad news just keeps coming like clockwork. Xiahou Dun breaks Ruanan. Liu Pi, the defender, bolts. Guan Yu gets there.
And gets surrounded.
Yep, now Guan Yu is trapped. And then, more news.
Oh no, Zhang Fei.
Zhang Fei, who went to save Gongdu, also surrounded. It's a cascade.
Wow. So Cao just systematically dismantled his entire position, from victory to this.
It shows how a smart commander can stretch you thin, turn your win into a desperate scramble.
Okay.
So Liu Bei knows he has to retreat fast.
Can't afford to get trapped himself.
Right. Jichu even comes out and challenges him, but Liu Bei's like, nope, not fighting you now. He needs to get out.
He tries a stealthy retreat at dawn.
Yeah, making fake camp noises, the whole bit. Trying to slip away quietly.
Does work?
Not a chance.
Oh.
They get just a few lines out, round a hill, and suddenly, torches, shouting.
An ambush.
Cao Cao himself, don't let Liu Bei escape. The Prime Minister is waiting. He'd figured out their escape route.
Total disaster. How do they even react?
It's chaos. Zhao Yun just fights like a demon to carve a path out. Liu Bei follows him.
But does he make it with Zhao Yun?
No. The fighting is too intense. Liu Bei gets separated. He ends up fleeing alone. Just him and his horse into the mountains.
Alone, after starting with that whole army.
Completely alone. Hearing the battle sounds fade behind him. Imagine that feeling. Utter despair for a leader.
From a massive victory to literally running for his life by himself. That really hits home, the human cost, the pressure.
It really does. It grounds these epic figures. But, just when it seems absolutely hopeless.
There's a twist. Please tell me there's a twist.
There is. Dawn breaks. Liu Bei is alone, probably thinking it's all over. Then he stumbles upon Liu Pi.
Liu Pi, the one who abandoned Ruan.
The same, but he's got about 1,000 soldiers who also escaped. And, crucially, he has Liu Bei's family and Sun Qian, Jianyang, Mi Fang. They got out.
His family is safe. Oh, thank goodness. How?
Liu Pi says Guan Yu fought a delaying action which allowed them to escape Ruan before it completely fell.
Guan Yu, always reliable. So, a moment of relief.
Huge relief, but it lasts about 5 minutes.
Oh, come on. What now?
Ambush. Again. This time, it's Zhang He and Gao Lan, 2 more Cao Cao's top generals. They've got Liu Bei's small group totally pinned down. No escape.
This is just relentless.
And this is Liu Bei's breaking point. He cries out something like, heaven, why me? It's come to this, I'd rather die.
He's got to kill himself.
He draws his sword ready to do it. Right there. It is his absolute lowest moment. Think about that. The leader, known for his virtue, brought to this edge.
The weight of it all must have been unbearable. The losses, the responsibility.
Immense. And Liu Pi, seeing this, tries to save him. Charges Gao Lan.
A final act of loyalty.
Brave but futile. Gao Lan cuts him down in like 3 moves. It looks like the end. For real this time.
Okay, I'm bracing myself.
But then, suddenly, a warrior charges out from behind Gao Lan's own troops. Spear flashes. Gao Lan is down, dead.
What? Who is it?
It's Zhao Yun. He somehow got through or looped around, just appears like a thunderbolt. Talk about dramatic timing.
Zhao Yun. Incredible. Talk about turning the tide.
He doesn't stop there. He immediately takes on Zhang He. They fight for 30 rounds.
Does he beat Zhang He too?
He forces Zhang He to retreat, which is amazing in itself. But Zhao Yun gets sort of funneled into this narrow mountain pass by Zhang. He's retreating forces and gets trapped.
So rescued Liu Bei, but now he's stuck. The twists don't stop.
It really shows you, even in moments of incredible heroism, how dangerous this situation still is. One problem solved, another pops up.
So close, yet still trapped. But Zhao Yun isn't alone for long, is he?
Nope. Guess who shows up next?
Has to be Guan Yu.
You got it.
Yeah.
Guan Yu with Guan Ping and Zhu Tang and about 300 soldiers, they charge into the pass.
Just in the nick of time.
They help Zhao Yun fight off Zhang, seize forces, break through the pass, and finally they're clear. What a reunion that must have been.
Liu Bei, Zhao Yun, Guan Yu back together, but where's Zhang Fei?
Still missing. Liu Bei's first thought, even after all this, is find Zhang Fei. He sends Guan Yu out immediately. The loyalty,
Always looking out for each other. So what happened to Zhang Fei?
Well, he had his own rough time. He got to Gongdu.
This supply guy he went to rescue.
Yeah, but Gongdu was already dead. Killed by Xiahou Yuan.
Too late.
Zhang Fei being Zhang Fei, he fights Xiahou Yuan, drives him off. But then he gets jumped by Li Jin and surrounded. Seems like everyone got surrounded at some point.
It really does. So how does Guan Yu find him?
Apparently, Guan Yu followed a trail of defeated soldiers, figured it led to Zhang Fei. Finds him mid-battle with Li Jin.
Another rescue mission.
Guan Yu joins the fight, they beat back Li Jin, and finally,
everyone's back.
Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Zhao Yun, the core group is reunited after that absolute roller coaster of defeat, despair, and near-death experiences. Liu Bei's been routed by Cao Cao. He gathers what's left of his forces, literally on a sandbar by the Han River. The text even mentions locals bringing him the food and wine, which is quite something. But Liu Bei himself is just consumed by guilt, by self-blame. He says something like, you all have talents fit for king's advisors, but you're stuck following me.
Unfortunate enough to follow Liu Bei. Yeah.
Right, and today I have nowhere to call home. I fear I'm holding you back. I mean, what does that kind of public despair from a leader signify?
Well, it's raw, isn't it? And you see the immediate impact. The troops are apparently weeping, covering their faces. There's real emotion there.
Yeah.
But then almost immediately you get this contrast. His inner circle steps up. You see that unwavering loyalty, but also crucially sharp strategic thinking. It really speaks volumes about the kind of people he managed to attract and keep close.
That's a great point. And Guan Yu, always the loyal brother, he steps right in.
Of course he does.
He pushes back, doesn't he? Reminds Liu Bei about Emperor Gaozu, the founder of the Han Dynasty. How Gaozu faced tons of defeats against Shang Yu before finally winning.
He basically says, brother, you're wrong. Look at history. Gaozu lost loads of times, but won in the end, founded a dynasty that lasted 400 years. It's a powerful pep talk.
Victory and defeat are common in warfare. How can you lose your ambition? It's pure Guan Yu.
Yeah.
But, okay, inspiration is one thing. What about a practical plan?
And that's where Sun Qin comes in. Maybe not as famous as the warriors, but strategically vital here.
Right.
He points out, look, Jing province isn't far. Liu Biao rules there. He's got troops, he's got supplies, and crucially, his family. Same Han imperial lineage as Liu Bei.
Okay, so that's the connection.
That's the in. Sun Qin proposes, they go there, seek refuge. It's a total pivot from despair to, well, a possible solution.
So lesson number one right off the bat. In a crisis, maybe your best assets aren't just soldiers, but advisors with wisdom and loyalty.
Absolutely. Their clear thinking, their encouragement, it can literally change the whole outlook, pull you back from the brink. Good counsel isn't just nice to have, it's a strategic game changer.
And Liu Bei, the text says he's absolutely delighted by this idea, immediately sends Sun Qin off to Jing province to make the case.
Right.
So Sun Qin arrives. He's got a delicate mission, basically asking Liu Biao to take in a defeated leader. How does he play it? What's the diplomatic angle?
He's very clever about it. He doesn't just show up begging. He builds this multi-layered argument.
Okay.
He starts by praising Liu Bei, calls him a hero, loyal to the Han, even with few troops. He brings up those minor figures, Liu Pi and Gongdu, who died for Liu Bei even without a prior connection, emphasizing his appeal.
Right, building that character reference.
Exactly. Then he plays the family card, hard. Reminds Liu Biao they're both Han descendants. Kinship, shared heritage.
That's smart. And he also mentions, doesn't he, that Liu Bei could have gone to Sun Quan down south.
Yes. But he, Sun Qin, advised against it. Why, don't turn your back on kin for a stranger. It positions Liu Biao as the natural, rightful choice.
So he's flattering Liu Biao while making the request, praises his reputation for welcoming worthy people, saying scholars flock to him. So surely a kinsman should too.
It's masterful. He frames it not as Liu Bei needing charity, but as Liu Biao living up to his own reputation and honoring his lineage by accepting Liu Bei.
Brilliant. But then there's pushback, right? From Liu Biao's own advisor, Cai Mao.
Oh, yeah, immediate pushback. Cai Mao basically says, hold on a minute. He points to Liu Bei's track record, Lu Bu, Cao Cao, Yuan Shao, says he doesn't stick with anyone. He's a liability.
And he warns that taking Liu Bei in will just provoke Cao Cao, basically asking for trouble.
And then he suggests the extreme. Execute Sun Qin and send his head to Cao Cao to curry favor.
Whoa. Okay, so is timeout just being strategically cautious, or is there maybe something personal going on there, fear of a rival maybe?
That's the question, isn't it? Sun Tian certainly thinks so. He stands his ground, says he's not afraid to die.
Ballsy move.
Very. He defends Liu Bei's loyalty, says his past moves were pure necessity, not fickleness. He hits back hard, stressing the family tie again, and accuses Tai Mao flat out of slander and being jealous of worthies.
Calling him out right there in front of Liu Biao.
It's tense. Tai Mao's argument sounds strategic, but that suggestion to execute Sun Qin, it definitely hints at something more personal, maybe protecting his own influence in Liu Biao's court.
But Liu Biao listens to all this. Importantly, he makes his own call. He actually tells Tai Mao off, says his decision's made.
Yeah, credit to Liu Biao there. He sends Sun Qin back with the good news.
And then the welcome. He doesn't just wait for Liu Bei. He rides out personally 10 miles to meet him.
It's a huge gesture of respect and welcome. When they meet, Liu Bei shows deference, Liu Biao treats him with honor, sets him and his brothers up with residences.
So, refuge secured. A testament to Sun Qin's diplomacy. Even when the army fails, a good argument, leveraging those shared values can win the day.
Exactly. Persuasion and connection can be powerful strategic tools.
Okay, so Liu Bei is safe, for the moment at least. But this news travels fast. What happens when Cao Cao finds out Liu Bei is now under Liu Biao's protection in Jing province?
Predictably, Cao Cao's first reaction is attack. Now, he sees Liu Bei as this persistent thorn in his side, and this new alliance is a direct challenge he wants to crush immediately.
Classic Cao Cao. Aggressive.
Yeah.
But then his advisors step in.
Right, specifically Cheng Yu. And this is where that crucial element of good counsel comes in again, but on the other side.
What does Cheng Yu advise?
He basically says, hold your horses. He points out that Yuan Shao up north hasn't been fully dealt with yet.
The bigger threat.
Exactly. Cheng Yu argues, if we attack Jing province now and Yuan Shao uses that opportunity to attack us from the north, well, we could be in real trouble, fighting on two fronts against major enemies.
Risky. Very risky.
So Cheng Yu advises patience. Go back to Zhuchang, rest the troops, build up strength, wait until spring, then finish off Yuan Shao first, and only after that, turn south to deal with Liu Biao and Liu Bei.
Get the north secure, then pivot south. Makes sense.
His logic is clear. The advantage of both north and south can be gained in one fell swoop, but only if you do it in the right order. Prioritize.
And does Cao Cao listen? Because his instinct was attack, attack, attack.
He does, and this is a key strength of Cao Cao, often overlooked. He might be impulsive, but he listens to smart advisors. He agrees with Cheng Yu. He pulls back to Zhuchang.
That's huge. It shows strategic discipline.
Absolutely. And fast forward to the next spring, Cao Cao follows through. He sets up defenses against Liu Biao in the south, secures his capital Zhuchang, and then takes his main force north to Guandu to confront Yuan Shao. Cheng Yu's advice became Cao Cao's strategy.
Strategic patience in action, a big part of why he was so successful ultimately.
Definitely.
Okay, so while Cao Cao is consolidating and planning his northern campaign, what's happening in Yuan Shao's camp, he's still recovering from those big defeats at Guandu and Kangting, right?
Yeah, the text mentions he's been ill, vomiting blood, clearly still feeling the effects of that major setback. But even so, he's already talking about attacking Zhuchang again.
Ambitious? Or maybe reckless?
Well, his advisor, Shen Pei, certainly thinks it's reckless. He gives starkly different advice.
What does Shen Pei say?
He argues the army's morale is shot after the defeats. He says they need to focus inwards. Dig deep trenches, build high walls, basically defensive posture. Rest, recuperate, rebuild the strength of the army and the people.
So the opposite of Yuan Shao's instinct. It's that classic dilemma after a defeat, isn't it? Consolidate or counterattack.
Precisely. Shen Pei is firmly in the consolidation camp. Rebuild first, fight later. Recognize the internal weakness.
But just as they're having this debate, news arrives. Cao Cao is on the move, heading towards Guandu, aiming for Yuan Shao's territory in Jizhu.
Right. And Yuan Shao, true to form, immediately wants to lead the army out himself to meet Cao Cao head-on.
But his son steps in.
Yes, Yuan Shang. He points out, Father, you're still sick. Let me lead the army. And Yuan Shao agrees.
Interesting family dynamic there.
Very. And then Yuan Shao calls on his other sons, Yuan Tan and Yuan Shi, and his nephew Gao Gan, who rule different provinces. He tells them all to attack Cao Cao from different directions. A four-pronged strategy.
Setting the stage for the next major confrontation.